You're listening to the Good Question Podcast with Richard Jacobs. Our goal is to make each of our guests exclaim, that's a good question. I don't know the answer. Because when that happens, it means you, the listener, may be inspired to learn more beyond the interview and to ask great questions yourself that lead to new insights. In this podcast, we cover historical and current anthropology, comparative religion, and history. Welcome, and let's get started.
Hello, this is Richard Jacobs with the Good Question Podcast. Today I have Mark Fox. He's an author. The book is called What on Earth Are We Doing to Our Health? A rocket scientist investigates out-of-the-world therapies. So I think this will be really cool because of Mark's background, dealing with solid rocket boosters and the aerospace issues. So welcome, Mark.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, tell me a bit about your background and how did your interest, and I guess, migrate towards this area or focus in this area?
Yeah, I mean, my background mostly was in aerospace. I was a Space Shuttle Chief Engineer on the solid rocket boosters. You kind of mentioned that. I never intended to get into any kind of energy therapy world at all. About 30 years ago, my dog couldn't come up the stairs one morning, and me and my wife flipped a coin to see who wasn't going to work that day. So it was me. Took her to the veterinarian and x-rayed her, and she had severe arthritis in her spine. And they're like, well, there's not a lot we can do for her, give her Rimadyl and try and mask it. And then another friend of mine who's a real forward-thinking veterinarian in Houston, Texas, I told him about it. He's like, there's this magic machine that has energy and frequency that can reverse arthritis. And I'm like, well, that's got to be BS. I'm a scientist, kind of skeptical, but it's my dog, right? So I dove into it, looked into it. And like I said, that was 30 years ago. And I just learned more and more about this technology and that it's real. And so it just really intrigued me. And then the first step after that was I saw what it could do for PTSD. And I thought it was actually criminal that it was being held hostage in a clinical environment with expensive machines and, scattered around the country. So I'm like, I naively dove into, I'm just going to go invent a affordable pocket-sized device that does the same thing as a $20,000 machine. And I thought it'd be easy, and it wasn't. But now we're here and we've got it.
Tell me about the machine. How does it work? What does it do?
Yeah, so it's Pulsed Electromagnetic Field. So what it's doing is it's transferring energy to the body. So if you think about it at a higher level, you can transfer energy to the body a number of ways. One is like with electrical current, and most people are familiar with a TENS unit. You can do it with a magnetic field, a pulsed electromagnetic field. That's the one that I chose because it's more easy to use. Right? It's more therapy on the go. You can put it in your pocket or wear it with a lanyard. You don't have to be tied to a machine or laying on a mat or have wires on you. And then you can transfer energy with light, sound, or vibration. And so most people are, everyone's been sunburned before. So that's an energy transfer of light. So that's what it's doing. It's a small device, looks like an old iPod. It actually is an MP3 player without speakers. I mean, all the protocols that are on there were written with a music synthesizer that I wrote. And so they're actually songs that your ears don't hear, but your body can hear it. And so at the most fundamental level, what it's doing is the cells in your body have an electrical charge, just like a car battery. And when the charge gets low, you get sick. So it recharges your cells' batteries. That's been proven multiple times. And then the other thing is ATP, which is the main chemical that your cells use for food. It increases ATP up to 500%. So it's recharging your cells' batteries, and it's giving the cells a food supply, dramatically increases our food supply. So the body can do what it does best, which is heal itself. That's how it works in a nutshell.
Why not overlay just some pleasant, relaxing sounds? Like on Teslas, they go, oh, they're moving really slow. Otherwise, it would be silent and they could really hurt somebody. Not that this is going to do that, but why not have just some nice, relaxing, audible music so that the device is on and running, even though the real stuff that you were supposed to hear, you don't need to hear?
We do. We have something called Resona tones where it has, meditation music with the frequencies mixed in at like 20% volume in the background. But most people cannot just listen to the frequencies because it would drive you crazy. They're 1 to 1,000 hertz. So you're going to hear something like, it's going to be very disturbing to your ears for most people, but it's not to your body. So that's why you can listen to it directly. And some people do, but very, very few for that reason.
You play Miley Cyrus over and over and over as you
Geez, no.
So when this is running, what are there different settings depending on what you need that you choose, and how does that work?
So we're talking about the Vibe right now. We have 4 different products, but the flagship product is Vibe. It's the first one we came out with. It's putting out frequency pairs. And if you picture a frequency pair like a chord on a guitar, then the protocols are songs, right? So, and each song is different, just like a song would be on an album. And the frequency A roughly is where is the issue, and B is what's wrong with it, like inflammation in the medulla, maybe. So that's what it is. It's going through a whole song. The frequency pairs are changing every, say, 1 to 4 minutes on average. And it comes from 8,000 practitioners and 35 years initially of trial and error. The analogy I make is a pickup band in their garage, right? They throw in some cowbell, throw in some horn, take out some bass, and they just, the Bee Gees analogy I use, they put out 150 songs before they ever had a hit. And so that's what this is building on experience of many, many, many clinicians doing trial and error to come up with a core set of 60 protocols that are all pre-programmed on the device.
Could you use AI now to find ones that you haven't been able to find before, or, better sequences of tones to help people?
I mean, I use AI 20, 30 times a day. You can, but you got to be careful with this stuff because I don't want to do a lot of trial. I mean, picture, right? If I change something on the device today, I'm build these in lots of 10,000 units, right? I got to make the changes to the device, get them out in the field, test them. And so you got to be careful of what changes you make to them and we're on version 5, which means version 12, right? Because we have 4.2 and those type of things. And we're pretty locked in. I'm not going to change probably anything on the Vibe device in the foreseeable future because there's pretty much not a protocol on there that won't fix something because there's 60 of them. Plus we have 70 expansion protocols where 5 protocols can be repurposed. So in total, there's 130 things on there. We don't need to add anymore. We really don't. I mean, 99%. That's 99% accurate.
Well, but if you make a change, why can't you just push the change to all the devices like over the internet? You have to physically have them there to reprogram them? Or?
Well, we're not going to reprogram anything. We're trying to.
I mean, if you had to, I know you had tons of stuff on there, but
yeah, people ask me for programmable when I go tough. I'm not ever making it because I'm trying to make it simple as I can. We have people that can't plug it in or turn it on, right? Because they don't know what an on button is, literally. So I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. That's why like the Vega Vibe pendant, our second product that we came out with, has an on button, Richard. That's it. It's got nothing else. You can't do anything to it. You turn it on, it has a light that says it's on and you wear it. That's it. So yeah, we're all about designing it for simplicity. I do not want people trying to program them and put stuff in because they don't know what they're doing and they don't know. People, they'll go read something on the internet. Hey, I need something 286 hertz. No, you don't. How do you know that? You don't have any of the research. You just read something somewhere, right? So you could possibly use a combination that could cause some harm if you're not careful. So yeah, we don't want people playing with them like that.
So what do people feel while the device is on and running? Do they feel anything or do they just sit and relax and
they sit and relax? Yeah, very, very, very few people will feel anything, less than 1%. If you're very energy sensitive or you see auras and stuff around other people, that's my one litmus test of how energy sensitive you are, then you may actually feel it. But the vast majority of people will not feel it. You're only going to feel the results of feeling better after usually a short amount of time.
Oh, how long? Like how many sessions until people on average start feeling better?
Yeah. So what we tell everyone is use it 3 to 4 times a week, minimum for 30 days. If you don't feel a change by then, it's not going to work for you for whatever reason, or you misdiagnosed yourself and you're running the wrong protocols. But you will know within 30 days. A lot of things like pain, sometimes you'll feel it instantly. Asthma, you'll feel most people instantly. Blood sugar will drop in 20 minutes on insulin resistance for a lot of people. But yeah, that's the general guidelines that we give them is 3 to 4 times a week. And that comes from the clinical environment, right? Is if a doctor's treating you and after 12 to 16 sessions, nothing's working, they're going to change your drug or do something different.
Okay. So what kind of conditions particularly are amenable to this device? What are like the top ones that you help people with?
Yeah, there's like I said, there's 60 protocols on there. The top ones, and we've changed that sometimes of what to go focus on. But basically, anxiety is going to be number one because it's the number one ailment in people and pets. To be clear, this is not for just people. It's for dogs and horses and cats as well. But for people and pets, by far, anxiety is the number one ailment in the world, across all continents, everywhere, right? So that's a big one. Sleep, obviously, is huge. Pain, anxiety, sleep, pain, neuropathy is a big deal. I'm trying to think of a couple more right now, but those are the ones at the top of my head. Let me pull some up real fast because this is what we're working on.
Sure.
So anxiety, as I said, neuropathy, PTSD, I already mentioned, which is the first study we did, and pain, like neck pain, back pain, whatever, sleep. And then for dogs and horses, and people go, well, what's the dog version? I go, well, it's the exact same as the people version because a dog and a horse is just a four-legged person. Okay. They have the same ailments and stuff we do, except for maybe like acne. And then the other one's cognitive impairment. We have a new product called Blue Vibe that is PEMF as well, but it also has 40 hertz PEMF and 40 hertz blue light that you wear on the back of your neck. And we just completed yesterday morning our final study on Blue Vibe, and we had, believe it or not, a 100% success rate with cognitive impairment. So those are the top ones. Anxiety, as I said, anxiety, pain, neuropathy, PTSD, horses and dogs, and cognitive impairment.
Do you have ones for pets? Like, is it just integrated into their collar for dogs, or what does it look like?
Well, it's intentionally the same device for dogs and horses, and we have a dog vest that it slips into and a dog bandana. So we have two solutions for a dog to wear it. The horse, we have what's called an Equivibe band. It's basically a cell phone holder looking thing that has an elastic strap that goes around their neck. And so it goes right towards their vagus nerve on the side of their neck. Cats are a pain in the ass. You can't do anything with a cat. You just put it in their bed. Yeah. They'll lay on it.
Yeah. Cats are hard to train. Yeah, it's true.
But the cats will lay on it. And if it's not the right protocol for them, they'll run away.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. We got hundreds of cases like that. Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if have you ever sampled cats purring and to see what frequencies and all that they're putting out? Because, I've heard sometimes cats try to heal people or themselves by purring. I just wonder, since you're into these frequencies and all that, if that would tell you anything about what they do.
I'm sure it does, but no, I've not studied that.
As if it doesn't sound like you're a fan enough of cats to study it.
Well, that's not the problem. I'm running all kinds of studies. I've just kicked off a gigantic dog study. The call I have after this one is going to be one of the largest studies ever with horses using this technology. And we partner with a French company. We now have basically a Fitbit for dogs and horses. So we can read real time into the cloud. We can see their heart rate variability, their respiration rates. Yeah. Their ponquier. We can see how much they bark, move, activity. So you mentioned AI earlier. I use it 20, 30 times a day. I'm using it to create algorithms to look at all of that data and make what I came up with the acronym called PRANA. It's Personal Resiliency and Nervous System Assessment. And basically, how do you measure pain and stress in dogs and horses with this device? Nobody in the world's ever done it, and we're running the first studies. And it's exciting as hell. We're getting some super cool data. For example, we saw one dog's like their numbers changed, and I asked the owner what happened. Is there anything that happened to your dog? She goes, "Oh, last weekend, yeah, we dropped her off for 2 days when we went on vacation." So when the dog went to the pet sitter, we could see that there's a change in the physiology of the dog.
Interesting. I was just teasing you about the cats, but it's very cool that you're doing that with dogs. What's your goal there? Is to just see their variability and have other scientists, come up with medical solutions for them, or just to improve your product?
No, I mean, the idea of all that is, so I'm my chief veterinary officer, his name is Dr. Tom Walsh. He's in Myrtle Beach. He has one of the largest dog rehab centers in the country. And what we're doing there is dogs are going to come in. We fill out a survey online on Google Sheets, right? That is a survey that we had to create because it didn't exist. There is no survey in the dog veterinarian world for both pain and stress. It doesn't exist. So we created that with AI. They do 23 questions. It goes into our AI, and the AI recommends the top 3 protocols on the Vibe to use. So then we send them home with our tracker and the Vibe, and they run the tracker. They have the tracker on their collar for a week without the Vibe. So we get baseline data. Then they run the 3 protocols we told them to for 30 days. Then they come back in and they do online a post survey. And then we can see all that data to show that not only we're measuring all the vitals, but we can change them with the Vibe. So it's the best of both worlds. We're measuring it and we're actually changing it. So our end goal is to publish a bunch of papers in the veterinarian horse world and people world, which is what we're doing. We just published one yesterday, like I said, for cognitive impairment for people. But that's our goal, is get more papers out there. Obviously, try and help more people as fast as we can. The medical world sucks. I mean, it's going to take 12 to 15 years historically for any new technology to make it mainstream. I'm 64 years old. I don't have enough runway for that kind of crap, and I don't want anything to do with it because it's too slow. So you got to create the markets yourself.
Going back to dogs for a second, what do you notice about their data versus human data? Are they a lot more variable, less variable? Like what affects them that maybe doesn't affect humans or vice versa?
Yeah, I mean, we're learning all that. A dog's heart rate variability is much more sporadic than a human's. So it takes it takes quite a bit of AI processing power to see what's going on. And honestly, that's bleeding edge stuff we're doing because nobody in the world's doing it. I mean, nobody has a device. I've been trying to design a Fitbit for a dog or horse for years, and it's hard to do because like a Fitbit or Oura Ring, any of those things, they're light sensors bouncing off the skin. You can't bounce off the skin of a dog or a horse without getting through the fur. So this new device we have is not using light. It's using accelerometers and gyroscopes with an algorithm to show you what heart rate variability and those type of things are. So yeah, it's pretty cool and it's pretty complicated. That's why I created a thing called Prana, which is a 0 to 100 score. So the average consumer can look and say, hey, the app on my phone, my dog's a 72 today, and yesterday they were 72. And then today they're 60. What happened? Or those type of things. So it's a real time, easy score that both the pet owner and us, Resona Health, can see. So it's really cool, Richard. I'm looking at it right now. I have a portal and I can see every single dog and horse real time.
Oh, wow.
I can see where they're at in the GPS world. I can see all their vitals. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
So yeah, what if you develop something where, for dogs that have anxiety, when the owner goes away, you can activate the pendant and have frequencies that'll keep the dog calm so they don't whine and cry and destroy stuff.
No, that's exactly what we're doing. So we have something called the Power of 4 for anxiety. So we have an anxiety protocol, relax and balance, PTSD, and vagus nerve. So all 4 of those can attack, quote, anxiety. If it comes from PTSD, that's probably the best one to run. Relax and balance is going to work the best for fireworks and those type of things. And so, yeah, and it's the same for people. So we have those 4 protocols are all on the Vibe, and you can run them for yourself or for your dog, and they work fantastic. Real high success rate with it.
Do you have any like petting sounds? When I'm going to pet my dog, let's say, are there any sounds you could produce that would help amplify the benefits I get from petting my dog? Feeling calmer and things like that.
No, I mean, the only sounds that we have are I built the Resona Tone sounds as just a lead gen, to get people in the top of the funnel so they could experience this without having to buy the device. But I actually don't want to build any devices that make noise.
Not audible stuff, but just that has frequencies that can cause, I don't know, let's say someone has anxiety, people have service dogs, having the dog with them just kind of makes them feel, it amplifies their sense of well-being, because the dog's with them. What if your device could further that, when someone's petting their dog or something, it releases frequencies that even further the relaxation and the bonding and all that, both for the dog and the person.
The honest answer, Richard, I have probably 5,000 things on my list here I could go do.
Oh.
Yeah, I want to go do. I mean, I have a doctor that calls me every single week. I'll just give you an example. She calls me every week to yell at me because I haven't done it yet, which is a podcast called Telepathy Tapes came out and showed that nonverbal autistic kids, their brains operating at 7.83 hertz, which is the earth frequency, the human frequencies that I have on the Vibe. She wants me to go run a big clinical trial where the mother wears the Vibe in her pocket at 7.83 hertz to see if she can, quote, communicate with her nonverbal autistic child better. That'd be an awesome study to go run, but I'm 64 and I only need 24 hours in the day, right? So
that's it.
There's only so much.
So all you need is like tens of millions of dollars more and more time and you're good.
Yeah, and I need doctors that would actually finish studies because they suck. I mean, I have so many studies out there that have never, people go, yeah, I'm getting great results. I'm like, well, give them to me. And they never finish them. Yeah, they're awful. So
interesting. Okay.
Hopefully I found a couple new ones here in the last week that will actually finish their studies. But yeah, most of them they don't, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. There's millions of things you can do, but that's really cool. That's really cool what you're doing.
Cool. Yeah, thank you.
So what's available to the public right now, and do they get it by prescription or just like where can they go to try your device and what do they need to be able to do it?
Yeah, there's no prescription. No, it's a general wellness device, and it's so anyone can buy these devices. It's on Resona.health, RESONA.health. It's short for resonance. And we have the Vibe, Vega Vibe, Blue Vibe is the cognitive impairment one. We have a Carrio watch. So I have a watch that measures heart rate variability, all the things that a Fitbit or Oura Ring would do and much, much more. And so, yeah, all those are available on our website.
Okay, so it's RESONA.
RESONA.health. There's no .com. That's right.
.health. Got it. Okay. Any other innovations that are coming that you can talk about in the next year or so, or is it proprietary?
Some of them I don't know if I'm going to actually do them, but no, I mean the Blue Vibe isn't. I mean, the first lot that we made, Richard, sold out instantly. So
nice.
We get another shipment on April 15th. So that's our newest product. And now that we have a study, it shows it's 100% success rate. I probably won't be able to make those fast enough. So I've been told by some of my other friends is, Mark, quit inventing stuff, right? Because you already have, home run products. Just keep marketing those. If I could figure out how to not give all my money to Mark Zuckerberg, then I'd had figured something out, because the marketing is extremely expensive.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, very good, Mark. Anything else I should ask you that I missed?
No, that's great. Appreciate your time, man.
If you like this podcast, please click the link in the description to subscribe and review us on iTunes.
Thank you for listening to the Good Question Podcast. Please email support@thegoodquestionpodcast.com if you have any referrals to great guests for us to interview. Visit thegoodquestionpodcast.com to hear more interviews. And please help us spread the word by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen to this podcast.